Oh, welcome back to the channel. It's finally stopped raining the last couple of days. We did get the cab placed onto the new chassis. We still have to make all the mounts for the cab mounts and stuff, so we have our brackets from the old frame we have to put in. So right now we're just getting the truck mocked up on the chassis, getting everything lined up. We definitely have a lot of room in the engine bay here, except for back in here. This is just starting to touch the firewall, and I still need to come forward like maybe an inch or two still for the wheel wells to make sure everything is lined up. So I do have to pound that in a little bit on the firewall for clearance. It still needs to be shifted over this way a little bit for the nose. But we definitely have a lot of room in here for all the wiring and everything. Definitely gonna have to make new brackets up front on the inside of the frame rails, and then figure out new mounts for the original bumper for the truck, or I will just end up making like a custom push bar bumper for this. Definitely getting there. We're gonna have to figure out our brake booster setup, because this is the one for this motor. The other one is still on the old chassis. Not sure if we're going to switch them out. We still have to put in the hydraulic booster sitting here, because this still has to be mounted on the wall because it's hydraulic, not mechanical. Steering linkage, and then all our plugs will have to go on the wall here. I think I have a room underneath the fender inside here, but it all depends on how everything's gonna sit. I would like to have everything like up top here for the 3 plugs going in, so they're up out of the underneath the wheel well. We'll see how that goes. But next we gotta raise the cab back up again, because we're still on our straps and everything. And we did get the hole cut for the shift linkage, and then we still have to modify this. We got some of our bolts to bolt down the cab and the 4 corners, and then we still have to get our pedal assembly in and everything. This shield piece isn't going to work for the firewall. We got to get this piece in for the brake booster and brake assembly and clutch for this. So we did get the front shocks on the frame. My new ones are sitting here before we can put those in. I still have a couple more things to do. But next, I'm going to be lifting this back up, and we're going to be putting in the front mounts on the frame. Hopefully the breaker for the house here is strong enough for the welder, so we can get these welded into the position where I need. So I'll make some marks on the frame where I need them, where the truck is sitting right now, and just adjust as I go. So stay tuned, and hopefully here next couple of days we'll have this bolted back down on the chassis. Alright, so we got the cab hanging, so we sprayed some spray paint down the holes to see where we're at, so we can measure to make sure that they're centered. We made our marks here on the frame where these need to go, because they've got to go in like so. And granted, I still have to cut the old ones off because they're in the way. And then the front ones here, we have to cut this one off. This horn is still bent. I still have to straighten it. But we'll probably be cutting it like about here anyways on both sides. Or maybe just we'll cut it here behind the original front mounts, and then we'll just straighten everything out what we need. And then we got our line mark there for back of the intake, so we can hammer that out for a little extra room. This side, same thing. We'll get the bracket lined up. She's gonna fit in here. We'll get a cutting on some of these pieces, what we need. We're gonna move these lines, That's a stupid return fucking vacuum shit you don't need for the fuel system. And then we'll make the plates what we need. Once I get these bushes out of the way, so we know where to move that. So I guess I'll start getting cutting here, and hopefully in a bit I'll have these tacked in real quick, and then we can set everything down after we do all the adjustments and see where she sits again. So she's getting there. So, breaker popped in the house. We do got this side going in. So I can only do a little bit of welding at a time. This side is pretty much secure. She's not going anywhere. I'll do a bead across here. Might take me 2 passes because of the breaker for the house. This thing definitely draws some wattage. So, and I got the other side over there tacked in place, but I'm gonna finish this side, and then I'll go over there and finish that one, so I can get on to the back 2 bushings there and figure out where they need to be next. And then we still have to pound in that corner up there, so we're getting there. And we got the front horns cut, so I go turn the breaker back on so I can finish that. All right, so got the body back down. We got the mounts to line up. They're where they need to be for up front now for these, and then we still have to make these up front for the radiator cross support piece. We'll have to fabricate all that. These we're gonna have to drill from the bottom of the frame rail through the bushing into the cab, so we know where the holes are for inside the cab, because the original ones are too far forward and forward to use the original bushings on the back here. So we'll just make new holes through the cab. Right now we're gonna put the system air up and see how this truck looks like when it airs up. Now that it's sitting on its 4 cab mounts so far. I mean, we still have to do the nose, but right now the cab is in its position where it's gonna sit before I bolt everything down. We're doing good. Alright, so it's about full lift. I have the battery starting to go dead for the compressors, but it's definitely pretty good so far. And we got enough clearance in the back so we can still reach the fuel line tester nozzle on the back, you know, the straighter valve to check your pressure on your fuel lines, and just barely got a finger to be able to get behind the intake on that side. But we got the clearance, so that worked out well. Definitely nice that I got the mounts in and everything. Now I can start freaking putting the 2 front bolts in later. We'll drill out our back bolts, mounts through the cab later, and then we can start on getting some of this wiring and, you know, the front mounts here, and then figure out our brake booster and everything else later. But this thing is looking like it's fitting pretty good, and we have enough room to put the original radiator back in, or a custom one if we need to, if this thing wants to overheat with the original radiator for this truck, but not for this motor, because this motor had a single core where this is double. But we'll see how this goes. So until next time.